Okay, welcome to tcDetects' latest video. We're going to be looking at the National Library of Scotland's mapping system and side-by-side mapping in particular, because there's been a new feature added to it, which I think most detectorists are going to find relatively exciting. So, for those who've not used it before, type your location that you're looking for in the box and click on it when it comes up. I've just selected an old place where I used to live, and it brings up the modern map first, but on the right hand side you'll see that you've also got a selection of older maps for the area, so you can scroll through those and select the one that you're interested in seeing and then click on it and say voila, up comes the old map for the same area, which you can zoom in on, scroll around on, and generally see what the area was like for the age of the map that you were looking at, which can be really useful when you're looking for footpaths or wells or other features that may be of interest when you are detecting. However, as most detectorists will know, one of the greatest features of this system is the side-by-side map. If you click on side-by-side, the area you're looking at, what you will get is two panes, one with the modern view on the right hand side, you can see, and one with the historical view on the left hand side, allowing you to quickly and easily compare the areas that you're considering detecting in or asking for permissions on to see what of interest is around. That's really useful, because if you move the cursor on one side, it'll move on the other, so it's easy to trace between the two maps and see what's going on. If you then click on the drop down menu on the left hand pane, you'll also see a selection of other dates, and this will bring up maps from different periods with different levels of detail on. Please take your time to go and experiment with those and see what it shows for the area you are investigating and researching. So you can find old features like footpaths and see where they are, if they still exist at all, on the modern side, which is really useful when you're trying to work out where you should go detecting. But now on to the exciting new addition on the side-by-side maps. So here's a map I was looking to try and get a permission on. Interested that you've got 3 footpaths that intersect in this bit in the middle here, which suggests activity and movement, probably between farms or between villages potentially, so it looks like an interesting area. So now if you click on the drop down on the right hand side, you'll see at the bottom they've added LIDAR features to the side-by-side map. Now this is a new feature, it can only have been introduced in the last few weeks, so I've not seen it before. And for those who are not sure or don't know what LIDAR is, well, LIDAR is a laser that's fired at the ground that actually shows you the contours of the ground. So you can see it here, you can see the footpaths, or you can see 2 of them at least. One of them isn't as visible as the others, that one there. That's probably because it's a newer footpath and hasn't been worn into the earth as much. But this is giving you the ability to look at the Earth's features and topography, which is great from a detecting point of view, to look for anomalies and things in the ground for the areas you either got permissions on or are looking for permissions on. You'll also see that there's 2 different types of LIDAR on there, DSM and DTM. DSM is the surface model, and that will show you buildings and trees and things like that. And DTM is the terrain model, and that will show you in essence the surface of the ground, the without the houses and the trees and the like on, so you're actually seeing a ground level view, what's going on around you and what's on the maps, as you can see. And to illustrate the difference between DSM and DTM, here's a really good diagram from off of the internet. So as you can see, the red line, which is the DSM surface model, follows the houses and buildings and things and elevation and trees, whereas the DTM, the terrain model, doesn't. It sort of ignores them. The laser sees through them. So a great new feature for the side-by-side maps. And you can also find on the same right hand side drop down menu a lot of other ways of looking at the maps and the pins, so it's worth going and have a look and investigating, see what other things are there that might be useful for you. Always good to have a look and a play around with all the features that are there now, and see how and what is visible on your permissions. Now you can use the side-by-side on your phone, but it can be a bit fiddly in the field. So I tend to print things out just so I can see the different views, particularly useful when you're looking at the hybrid map, if you've got it with you. But all in all, it's a great new feature added to the side-by-side maps. LIDAR should prove really useful for the detecting community, so I encourage you all to go check it out. Look out for the links in the video.